Buy on MTG. Construct your deck. Command your board. Conquer the table.
Hello out there in the wide world of web. This is Rob with Buy on MTG. Doing a mail day today. It's been a little bit since I put any kind of video out. We're definitely got quite a bit going on in our household, moving stuff around and actually moving a human. So that's definitely why it's been a little bit and the content has slowed down a little bit. But the ordering has not. The deck designing is still going on and whatnot. If you've watched any of my videos regarding my deck bag, I tend to use precons and I upgrade them accordingly. And I really wanted to get away from having nothing but Kindred style decks. So getting rid of the cat deck, going over to this Enchantress list, and picked this up the other day and got it in. So I got it all double sleeved up and ready to go. And then went through on Archidect and went through my deck building procedure. And once everything comes in and I get a couple reps in with the deck, then I'll go ahead and adjust it accordingly. And I'll do a deck tech on my upgraded precon for Enchantress. One of the cards for sure that was going to go in was Generosity. And this is the, what is this, an retro etched foil, something like that. Just a real good card, and I don't recall if it for the Enchantress list that I was working on, but if it is, great, and if it's not, I've already got it for that deck. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this over there. I did a TikTok, and I think I stuck it over on a YouTube short regarding all the Flibblethip stuff, and these are the two Flibblethip pins from Pinfinity. So just like my little guy is always right over in the background, he's kind of become the mascot of the channel. So I wanted to pick up the Pinfinity pins. These are some of the additional Flibblethip cards that I wanted in the video. And we're going to start out with the Karlov Watchdog. If you look right up here, and I'll probably zoom in. Hanging out. Totally Lost. There's two variants of this card. This one is very obvious where Flibblethip is on this one. Crime Novelist is an additional Flibblethip. He's hiding out under the table of the Goblin Bard. So that's pretty cool. And Captive Audience. Where is he in here? I think he's... Oh, yeah, he's just right there. Giant Flibblethip sitting on his shoulder. That's pretty cool. So that's more Flibblethip goodness. Bag check. So these are, hold on. Yep. Some of the cards that hadn't come in yet, but I've got them now. Bag check just has like a little stuffed Flibblethip, and this is the Galaxy foil, which is pretty cool. The sticker cards, I've never really played with a sticker card, but this one had a little Flibblethip on the sticker, so I got that one. And there's Totally Lost, but this is super duper lost, and it's got Flibblethip, and this is another Galaxy foil, of course. And this envelope is the regular, because for the Borborygmos and Flibblethip pair up card, I used the what is it, like the showcase art, but this is the standard art. And there's Borborygmos fighting somebody and a little Flibblethip sitting on his head, just kind of cheering him on. This is all going to go into the Flibblethip binder. Unquestioned Authority. This is the one that I mentioned before that I was kind of surprised the foil was like $11. But, I mean, it's a reasonable card. And on the stairwell, you can see little Flibblethip hiding out up on the stairs. Seasonal sequels. I mentioned, is this thing? Yeah, that is taped in there. Let's get a blade out so we can free this card from its plastic prison. It's funny, the seasonal sequels, being that we are that time of year. I think this is last year's that time of year. Yeah, Happy Holidays 2023. So this one's just a year late on the channel, but Flibblethip running off. And it's got Die Hardened Scales and Llanowar Elf. Just a one of the silly little shop reward cards. Thank you from Wizards of the Coast for having a WPN. I do not, but purchased that card on TCG Player because they're not really worth a whole heck of a lot, and some people don't really care about the gifting they received. This is one of the playtest example cards, and the Grand Tour and all the photographs have Flibblethip hiding out in the photographs. So this is the Flibblethip haul, and I'll have to do a hard count, but I believe that is all the Flibblethip cards that I was missing, and the 2 pins that I was missing. Doubling Season, just a really good foil. It's more of a win more card. I don't use it that often, but I didn't own one, and it just getting a reprint, I always feel if you wanted one, that's the best time to pick those up. And the foil, I think, was like $13. So just a good value card, and that's why those are together in that stack. This is a whole stack of things for the Angel deck. I did the deck tech and how I build a commander deck video, and I actually utilized angels in that video and ordered the cards then, and they're starting to come in. So here's the foil farewell. This one I didn't originally use in the video. I believe this is one of them that I didn't use in the video, but one of the guys in the play group that makes appearances in the actual gameplay, Ryan, had recommended this one, and it's hard to argue when people have good points. But Angel of Jubilation, 3/3 for 4, so it's 1 and 3 white for a 3/3 flying. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. Players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast or activate abilities. One of the neat things is it shuts off fetch lands, which is kind of cool. I was surprised, though, because this is the only foil print of this card. It was a little bit more than I was expecting, but it's like $30, but it's a really good card. Mutavault. Some people say Mutavault. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't invent the card or make the name, but Mutavault is pretty much it's a changeling land, and in a mono white deck, you can get away with a lot of the colorless lands, but technically it's an angel. So if there's an angel triggered effect, that's an angel. Cavern of Souls. This is one of the you win it from a store. I received this in the mail, and I'm not going to lie, the back coloring and everything just seemed, and the paper feel just felt fake to me. But I brought it to my LGS, and they had some still, and I compared it next to it, and that's the same that they have. So I guess for this specific card, it's just a little bit lesser card quality than I'm used to, but normally I stick with older stuff that I actually pay attention to. I think it's Wojak Investigator. This is another one that Ryan had recommended. 2 and a white for a 2/4 flying vigilance at the beginning of your upkeep. Investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. So investigate makes clue tokens, so you could essentially get some card draw out of it. And in mono white, you're struggling for your card draw, so you get it where you can. Venser the Sojourner. It's a 5-mana planeswalker. It flickers things, and I was looking at doing that Esper Aminatou flicker deck, and I was going to do planeswalkers in it. So this is a flickering planeswalker, and that's why he is there. And this is also for that same Aminatou list, the Reality Acid. 2 and a blue, enchant permanent. It gives a vanishing 3. When Reality Acid leaves the battlefield, enchanted permanent controller sacrifices it. So the intention is I enchant something of theirs that's troublesome. Then I use Aminatou and I flicker it. And when it comes back in, I enchant something else of theirs. But when I flicker it, the enchanted permanent has to be sacrificed. So it's repeatable removal in the Aminatou deck. And just thought that was really cool. The next thing that I'm going to get into is kind of a stack. And it's a lot of the same thing over and over and over. So there are many decks out in the world that you can have any number of whatevers in the deck. And this is for Dragon's Approach, which is 2 and a red for a sorcery. Dragon's Approach deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may exile Dragon's Approach and 4 cards named Dragon Approach from your graveyard. If you do, search your library for a dragon creature card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. A deck can have any number of Dragon's Approach. So a lot of you that have built these are probably aware that there is Thrumming Stone. So Thrumming Stone, 5 mana for a legendary artifact. The spells you cast have Ripple 4. So the way that Ripple works, whenever you cast a spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and you may cast spells with the same names as the spell from among the revealed cards without paying their mana cost, and you put the rest at the bottom of your library. So if I cast a Dragon's Approach, I get to reveal the top 4 cards, and the big thing is it's a may. I don't have to do it, but you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and if you do, any of the other Dragon's Approach can be cast without paying their mana cost. So in a deck that has 30 of them out of, well, if 30% of your deck is Dragon's Approach and you're revealing 4 cards at a time, statistically, you should at least hit 1. Now, the neat thing that I do with Dragon's Approach, because it falls within like a spell slinger, because it is sorceries approach, is for the commander, I use Viren, Voice of Duality. So it's 1, a blue and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature, a free wizard, and it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast a spell or an instant, which this is an instant, Viren, Voice of Duality gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So every time I cast one of these, Viren gets +1 bigger. If casting or copying an instant or sorcery causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So if I cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1, but they are also a permanent that triggered, so it gets that trigger a second time. So each spell, instead of +1/+1, is +2/+2. That being said, whenever, anytime a spell has whenever or when, those are normally clear indicators of triggered abilities. So if I have Viren out and Thrumming Stone out, and I cast a Dragon's Approach, this Thrumming Stone triggers twice. So I reveal the top 4 cards twice. So instead of just looking at the top 4, I look at the top 8, and I get to cast any of those Dragon's Approach without paying their mana cost. So that being said, the normal mark is 30-ish of a single card that you're going to run any number of to try and ensure every time you cast one, you get that additional trigger and you can run through the deck. With Viren, it greatly reduces the amount of Dragon's Approaches that you actually need. You could run as low as 20 in some instances. I've run 20 and it's popped through and killed the entire table because it's doing 3 damage to each opponent. So if you're doing that 10 times, that's 30. Most opponents don't have more than 30 life. And if they do, that one, you just swing the Viren at them and that knocks them out. I do run some additional dragons in this deck just because you can't completely rely on Thrumming Stone and Viren to make it happen, because let's face it, people are aware what this deck is trying to do, so they try and stop your Thrumming Stone at all cost, and rightly so. It's horrible for them. So I run a couple alternate dragons, so you can get there just hard casting these things. If I can get this one out, this tape is like it's razor proof. So I run, like, there's the new Niv Mizzet that has a built-in curiosity, which if you watch my pack opening videos, you know I happened to open one not too long ago. So that's going to be pretty great to run in here, because when I cast my 5th Dragon's Approach, I may exile it and 4 others from the graveyard and go directly and get that big old dragon. Similarly, regular old Niv Mizzet, which has the card draw stipulation for curiosity. So let's just go ahead and get to this Niv Mizzet while we're talking about it. Now it's giant. It's 6 mana and 6 color specific. But if I'm pitching these to just go get it, 5/5, 6 mana for a 5/5. It's trip blue, trip red. Can't be countered flying. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. And whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery, you draw a card. So could potentially pop off with the Thrumming Stones triggers and get additional damage off of Niv Mizzet. Or you put Curiosity or Ophidian Eye, and I don't know if I have either of those here. Let me see. Curiosity. So it's 1 blue mana for an enchantment. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to opponent, you may draw a card. Well, if I draw a card and it does a damage, then when I did the damage, I get to draw a card with these 2 in play, the Curiosity enchanting Niv Mizzet. It essentially allows me to draw a card, ping an opponent, draw a card, ping an opponent. And as long as I have more cards in my library than life my opponents have, then that just closes the game out. And if I don't, then I draw my deck and die. I guess that's on me. But the general concept is for the Dragon's Approach. I ordered 30 of them for playtesting purposes, but like I mentioned before, I have had this deck together before, and it was doing pretty good, and worked a trade for the entire deck at a Command Fest because somebody thought it was neat, and I'm all about trading Magic cards. I love trading Magic cards. So I traded the whole deck off and just, I don't know. I've been playing the, man, if I could get this out of there, there better be a couple in here. I've been playing the Otters as my Spellslinger list, and it's doing great. It wins. The last game that we played that I'm currently editing, the deck actually got to do the thing. It popped off and it closed the game out doing Spellslinger Otter stuff. That being said, I wanted to have something a little bit more unique, something that I've kind of built and developed on my own in the past, and gonna fall back to Dragon's Approach because I really enjoyed it before. So I figured, why not try and enjoy it again? Man, there are a bunch of these Goofy Dragon's Approach, but like I said, I ordered like 30 of them. And the crazy thing is, I don't even think this is all of them yet. I think I'm still missing a couple when I went through and were receiving cards. I believe there are still like 3 to go. But, well, it gave me some stickers. Little stickers in there. One of these guys. That's a little hippo. And one of those, I don't remember the name of those dogs. They're pretty popular, but the little dog eating ramen with an egg on it. And I think this is the last one of, yeah, this is the last one of the Dragon's Approach. My friend actually pulled one of the Dragon's Approach with the Future Sight border, and it is very pretty, but they're like $50 a pop, and I don't know that it's worth dropping $1,500 for just Dragon's Approach. Another card that I pulled or bought for this deck is Jorian. It's 1, a blue and a red for a 2/3. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card, which, of course, with Viren at the helm, that is a triggered ability from casting an instant or sorcery, so you would get to draw an additional. A neat little dragon that is from the new set from Foundations. You could go grab the dragon if you wanted, but I try to ensure that there's some low to the ground. things to do. And this little fire spitter whelp is 2 in a red for a 2/2 flying whenever you cast a non-creature spell or dragon spell. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So it does a little AoE damage, which I thought was kind of neat. And that's a cast trigger. So it's going to double from Viren. Yeah, this is everything that I got. Flibblethip, some Planeswalker stuff, some Angel stuff, and a bunch of Dragon Approach stuff. And of course, the Enchantress deck that I'm going to end up probably doing a deck tech on in the future. I hope you're all doing great out there, and I'll keep the videos coming. It's just been pretty busy, like I said, with just life in general and moving stuff around. Hope you're having a great week, and happy holidays. You know, I hope you're enjoying time with your friends and family. It's the best time of year for that kind of thing. And have a great day. I'm Rob. This is Bion MTG. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.